On your screens right now, Retail abuser pictures of Arvind Kejriwal, who is in fact in court physically present at Delhi's Aam Aadmi Court, where you can see these pictures. In fact, let's try and take a listen.
Good polling, yes, sir.
All right, so essentially, no comments. In fact, he didn't say anything when asked to respond to the current developments since last evening. Arvind Kejriwal is mum, but what's happening in court right now is that Abhishek Manu Singhvi is arguing in court, and I'm going to go straight across to Paulami for more on that. Paulami, take us through the arguments that have already started to be made by Abhishek Manu Singhvi, now arguing on behalf of Arvind Kejriwal. The party continues to say that there is no money trail that has been established, but we've heard a lot today from the ED in terms of the kind of money trail and also the Hawala transactions that the ED has alleged.
That's right. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who is appearing on behalf of Arvind Kejriwal, has started his arguments right now. What he said so far, as reported by our legal correspondent Nalini, who's inside the courtroom, Singhvi has said remand is not automatic. It has to satisfy provisions of a draconian statute like PMLA. He says first condition is material in his possession. Cumulatively, there must be reason to believe. So this is what Abhishek Manu Singhvi is saying, that remand can't just be automatic just because you picked him up and arrested him. So you're granted remand of the accused in this case. It has to satisfy the provisions of a draconian statute, he says, like PMLA. The first condition is material in his possession. That is what needs to be satisfied. Cumulatively, there must be reason to believe that the accused indeed is culpable of the crime that he's being accused of. So these are arguments that Mr. Singhvi, who's appearing on behalf of Arvind Kejriwal right now in the Rouse Avenue Court, has been making. Sneha.
All right, these are arguments being made in Rouse Avenue Court. Yes, follow me, carry on.
Coming from... Yeah, just one more point, because Nalini just put that out. Mr. Singhvi has said, and finally, he should be guilty of the offence. So cumulatively, there must be reason to believe, and finally, he should be guilty of the offence. These words are not found in normal statutes. Why is this? It's because when it's difficult to make the arrest, then it's also difficult to let the person go. So he's basically arguing about what he calls the draconian statute like PMLA. Singhvi says there should be a causal link between the reason to believe someone is guilty and the material in the possession of the Enforcement Directorate. That threshold is very high, he says. So there could be, you have a reason to believe he's guilty, but is there material in his possession by which you can say that indeed he's culpable of the crime that you believe him to in fact be culpable of? Singhvi says the first thing we must show is the necessity to arrest. Sneha, back to you.
Right, the threshold is very high. The first thing we must show is the necessity to arrest. Why should you arrest him? The ED in fact has in court already, Paulami, spoken about the fact that summons have been skipped repeatedly. Not one, not two, not five, but 9 summons that the ED has said that Arvind Kejriwal has skipped. That is, in fact, one of the arguments, isn't it?
At the moment, of course, it remains to be seen if the Enforcement Directorate will, present that as part of the argument. Of course, that bears largely also on this case, because yesterday you saw how the Delhi High Court did not, grant him interim protection from any sort of coercive action, because they believe that Arvind Kejriwal should join an investigation if the Enforcement Directorate believes there is material enough for them to have Mr. Kejriwal come forward and give his evidence in a matter of, something which is of extreme significance. It is a matter of public policy, and there is a lot of corruption which is alleged as far as that. So that is what the Enforcement Directorate has been saying. But right now, of course, they've produced the grounds of arrest and why they believe that Arvind Kejriwal is the kingpin of the scam. The money trail, the evidence that they have, they've cited chats, they've cited CDRs that they've corroborated with various persons. They say that they've backtracked the money trail as well in order to find the source of it and the origin of it. And Mr. Singhvi right now, importantly in court, as he in fact defends Arvind Kejriwal, says the first thing we must show is the necessity to arrest. The power of arrest is not equal to, in fact, the power of arrest is not equal to the need to arrest. So you may have the power to arrest, but it's not equal to the need to arrest. Power of arrest and necessity to arrest are two different things. Just because you have the power does not mean you have to exercise it. Please see the law, is what Abhishek Manu Singhvi is telling the court right now. Sneha.
All right.